Hello! And today I'll be doing a showcase of my first ever LEGO MOC build, a build that I have almost 100% designed fully myself. It's quite special to me, partly for the reason it's my first ever build, and it's taken me quite a while to finally put together, and it's for Harry Potter. So without further ado, the build I've put together is the Room of Requirement, just in time for the 20th anniversary since the release of the first movie. 20 years. Yeah, I know I'm late. My design of the Room of Requirement has taken quite a while to put together. It first started off as a digital design on LEGO Digital Designer, and slowly but surely, for a couple of years now, I've been accumulating the pieces I've needed. I've sourced pieces from my own collection through a couple of bricks and pieces orders, and the most, very recently especially, a lot from Bricklink. And yeah, in that time, LEGO had released an official one, and now that's retiring, which is kind of funny, but I finally now still wanted to put together the build that I designed before LEGO released theirs, and here it is, looking actually even better than I originally designed. I'll just show you kind of what it looks like, all laid out. Temporarily, I'm just going to do a quick erase. Now you can see the room unoccupied by all the students, and you can see a lot more clearly all the different decorations. Yeah, so with my design of the Room of Requirement, I intended to go for a kind of hybrid between how it was laid out in the Order of the Phoenix movie, with the grille panels on the floor and the windows and the fireplace, and how it was described with all the different decorations in the book, in the aptly titled chapter Dumbledore's Army. Actually, I've just got to double check my notes just to remember what everything was again. So the build itself is made on two 16x16 base plates, just like the Great Hall, and in fact there are a few elements that are taken from the Great Hall that are used in the build, so the base plate, the fireplace, the windows, and even the doors. Starting on the left with one of the many details, we have a dual set of just a couple of drawers with a glass orb. There's nothing on the top drawer, but I'm pretty sure, yep, hey, there's some chocolate inside. Bit of a nice secret treat to have in, and it just sits on top of a jumper on the view that's on the floor. And yeah, there's a panel just behind that occupies most of the windows. It's a bit awkward next to one of these four pillars, which you'll see, which I've added in for a nice masonry and antique touch to the whole room, so that's why. But yeah, it doesn't really accommodate the panels so well, but it's only on this side. And yeah, you can see one of the windows, and there's a smaller pillar on the other side just to bring out the frame a bit more. To the right we have the fireplace, which was also in the official build, and you can see it has a dark red cover. It's supposed to be nougat, just like in the movie, but they don't have these corner slopes in nougat, so I just went with the dark red. And underneath you can kind of see these modified 1x1s with a kind of sort of rounded edge, just like in the film. And just to the right of that, we have three more pieces of, I guess, equipment and stroke furniture. To the left we have... what was it? Secrecy sensors, and there's supposed to be two black orbs, but I only had one, and they'd have like an eye on it. It's roughly how it looks in the film, in the book. And to the right of it, it's supposed to be the board, the I guess mirror featuring some pamphlets, which kind of use, I guess, as a inspirational board, I guess. Comparing it to the one in the official set, it's a bit better, but I guess I'd modify it so that it's as long as this one. But it's supposed to be this, but my version was a lot more simpler. And at the very back, behind the secrecy sensors, there's a little bookshelf with a little diamond or crystal on top, which I guess that could count as a sneaker scope, just to detect anyone sneaking up. And just above the little bookshelf you can see one of two wall sconces with a torch, right on the left and on the right. Looks more red on the right. And yeah, they're just a nice little touch to help brighten up the room, I guess. And turning to the centre, we have two sets of bookshelves, and if this design looks familiar to you, it's because it's literally the same design taken from the Sanctum Sanctorum from Doctor Strange in the 2016 set, just modified so you can actually, I guess, remove them. And yeah, it's a bit lazy. Even the small one has the same set of, I guess, coloured books, and you can remove them. Well, sort of. On the right, we have a skeleton head for the middle detail, and to the left, bring it out again, we have a little tiara, or you can call it a diadem. Yeah, just figured I'd add in this little Easter egg from the, as a little Easter egg, just into the build itself. And just above the right shelf, we have a little section featuring a clock, which is important to keep the time, just so they know, all the students know how long they should be in there for. And just below this lovely set of stolen shelves, we have a little pile of cushions. So a detail that part of the a room in the book is that there's a little, I guess, pile of cushions to have, which is useful if you're doing, I guess, stunning spells and you need a soft landing. And yep, multicolored, I believe. You can just move it like so. This is how I put it together, just like so. We have just a little table featuring what I intend to be a faux glass, which I'm using a magnifying glass for, which I think was also in the clock tower set. Yeah, I just want to have this detail. It's kind of with the other equipment, but I put it here because there was more space. And moving on to the very right is what I like to call the concealing wall. I just literally made up the name now, and it doesn't work. But yeah, so what this is supposed to be is kind of concealing the door, and the effect was just to conceal the outside. I'll show you the outside in a bit, but yeah, this custom block panel I have just to close up the doors, but it only really works outside. Thinking about it, it's a bit of a kind of fault in that design. But yeah, it just would cover up the doors, and you can see more masonry detail here. Then you get offsets the tan, and we have this little tooth piece, which I intended now to use as a I guess a cloak rack, which yeah, I guess works pretty well. And here's how the doors look from the opposite side, just like so. It's quite an imposing entrance, and just opening them up, kind of get to see how it would look when you step inside this secret awesome room. And I've got to talk about the floor. So you can see the three grilled panels, so a nod to the film design layout. And you can see I've laid out the floor with bits of stone slabbing, and I've added some variety with I guess some cracks and pebbles, and using some sloped tiles and a plate over there. And yeah, and you also have these jumper plates so that you can place different figures in different positions. I should probably kind of have a more of a I guess pattern to it. It's more dominant on the bottom, I realised. Let's now show you everyone inside. But before we bring everyone back, I figured I should show you what all these whisper-like blue elements I added in earlier are supposed to be. Quite clearly Patronuses. And I've seen these in illustrations, so I definitely wanted to have some roaming around inside of the room, with two being borrowed from the official Room of Requirement set. So on the left, we have the one that's predominantly brick built. I have no idea what animal this is supposed to be. It could be a dog, it could be a goat, it could be a dote. But yeah, this one I used using predominantly plates, 1x2 plates, and a tile to top off the top, and a G's slope for the tail, and just have a trail being made with the cylinders. That's how I made the legs as well. In the very middle, we have Luna's lovely majestic hair Patronus, who's leaving a bit of a trail behind, which I just want to add as a nice effect. And to the far right, we have Hermione's very adorable, cute otter Patronus, who's leaving behind a quite prominent trail. Could be a kind of water trail. And yeah, kind of how it's elevated, I used cylinders to make it look like they were hovering. So yeah, definitely a pretty good effect. And here's the room with all the students inside, or all present members of the DA, Dumbledore's army. At the very left we have the main teacher, Harry himself, who's helping Cho kind of ease her nerves as she's practicing the Wingardium Leviosa spell on dear Nigel Greavy up there, who, funny enough, I made him using the young first, second year run because all the features were pretty much spot on to him. Yeah, Harry seems to be enjoying that. At the far corner, I forgot to, I guess, it counts as a bit of magical equipment. It's a Death Eater dummy, but he's kind of a minifigure. But this one was taken straight from the set, so I just added him into the build. Over near the back, we have Ginny looking on at Harry, kind of in an envious way, and we have Neville just next to her, who's kind of timid and at the back. But over near the centre, we have Laluna looking in awe at her hair Patronus as it kind of gracefully gets away from her. Over by the bookshelf, we have Hermione, currently enjoying a bit of reading, as is her one. And just next to her, by the door, we have Ron and Dean, currently in conversation. And yeah, notice how Dean doesn't have any hands. Sorry, I didn't have any for him, but I'll make sure to give it to him soon. I guess that's what the conversation's about. And in the other corner, we have Ron's twin bros, Fred and George, who are currently having a bit of fun with a bit of flame throwing. I guess it's one of the new tricks they've developed, and hopefully they could potentially turn into some kind of a business. Wink, wink. And in the very centre of the build are two characters you've probably noticed and are probably wondering about. And yeah, this is my special personal touch I've added to this build. On the left is, I don't know who that's supposed to be, but on the right is a special cameo and addition to my build, and that is my sister, one of the most important and greatest people, girls and people in my life, and one of, if not the biggest Harry Potter fan I know. All my enjoyment for the franchise comes from her, and I just love talking about it with her, and we even have been able to, we've built a few sets together. First one being the Great Hall, which is a set I do have, and I never took a look at, but I think it's pretty fantastic and looks fantastic. I built it with her back a few years ago, and a personal touch we added in, we took a look around the back. The way we orientated the house flags is that we have it so that our respected houses are showing, mine being Ravenclaw and hers being Gryffindor. So I really had lots of fun with that, and I love that personal touch we added. So it was really, I really wanted to add her in as a special, addition to the DA, and I think she's more than worthy. And like I said, it was an important addition. It was important to have her in this build, and I love you, sis. And what's even greater about her being here is she finally gets to be with Ron Weasley. And for the final part of what I will assume most likely is going to be a pretty lengthy video, is just to do a quick comparison between the official Room of Requirement build with my own. And you can see the size difference. This was a kind of an inexpensive set, as it were, but I definitely like all the features that this build has generally, and I like the way in which they emulated the reflective panels that the room in the film had, and obviously the fireplace is a much more accurate colour, and there's these things which I tried to squeeze into the build but I wasn't able to, and I like how they came out, and maybe I can integrate it into an updated version of my MOC. And of course, one thing, they have a better board than my one over there, and at the back behind the fireplace also it's a bit more detail in there. At the back, well, they did a better job at concealing the door as well. Why are you pointing these out? They have the decrees, which if you press just here, they flip out. So yeah, that's something I can add into my one. But I like the amount of feet. I built this before this came out, so I didn't know kind of what this would be like. But I like how this came out. But in terms of like which one's more of a room. Okay, so that's it for my showcase of my LEGO Room of Requirement build. My first proper LEGO MOC that I've designed fully myself. Well, almost. I really love all the features that I guess went into the architecture and just the general layout of everything. It looks like a really fun room to be in, and of course the personal touch with having me and my sister in the middle. It just really makes the build for me. And I just want to say right now, I am so sorry for no Hufflepuff representations that are not featured in this build. I'm so sorry I just wasn't able to squeeze them in. I definitely will next time. But for now, I'm really happy to have this displayed on my shelf, and just it's a representation of kind of where my building skills are and just my love for Harry Potter, and it never gets old. It's just a pretty amazing magical franchise. So yeah, that will do it for this custom mock showcase. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if there's anything you like about it, if there's anything you could suggest like to be in there for next time, and especially I could maybe add you as a cameo, then just let me know in the comments below. And I'm also very sorry that these videos are super long, put my heart and soul into them, probably a bit too much, but definitely if they're the same kind of size as this, then that would be just really cool. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and for more, and if you want to catch up on all the other stuff I'm doing, I'll be more active on my different social media accounts, links to them in the description below, and yeah, just hopefully things go even better in the future. Just keep building best you can, and well done everyone, great work. So long and